The great green hill stood tall against the morning sky, its peak tickling the soft clouds. From his porch, Toby adjusted his tiny hiking boots. The distance looked vast, but his heart felt big. He checked his backpack for a snack and a map. Toby was a determined tortoise who loved the smell of damp grass and the promise of a view. He knew the journey would take time. Most forest folk stayed in the valley, but Toby wanted to touch the clouds. He took a deep breath, feeling the cool morning air fill his lungs. The meadow landscape stretched out before him like a giant green carpet. Today was the day he would reach the top. Toby stepped onto the dirt path with a soft thud. He focused on the rhythm of his own heartbeat. Each movement was careful and sure. He didn't mind that his progress was slow because he noticed the tiny bluebells nodding in the breeze. The meadow landscape was full of secrets that fast travelers missed. Toby saw a beetle polishing a pebble and a dewdrop sliding down a leaf. He felt the sun warming his shawl as he moved. Step by step, slow and steady, Toby was ready. He looked at his boots and smiled. The path was long, but Toby was a determined explorer who enjoyed every single inch of the world. Suddenly, a blur of brown fur and bright neon colors streaked past. Zip! The rabbits arrived in a whirlwind of dust and laughter. They wore colorful athletic headbands and bounced with restless energy. They circled Toby, their long ears flopping wildly. They asked why he bothered to walk when he could barely move at all. Toby didn't stop or look away from the path. One foot, then the other. The rabbits laughed again and sprinted toward the hill, leaving only a cloud of dust behind. Toby watched them vanish into the distance. He didn't feel sad or rushed. He simply tightened his shell straps and kept moving forward at his own special pace. Ask your child, have you ever felt like you were going too slow? Toby didn't let the rabbit's speed bother him. He knew that persistence was his greatest strength. He watched a butterfly flutter nearby, its wings matching the orange of his bootlaces. The distance to the hill was shrinking, even if it didn't feel fast. Toby focused on the feeling of the earth beneath his feet. He was a determined traveler who understood that the finish line would wait for him. He didn't need to race anyone else. Step by step, slow and steady, Toby was ready. The sun climbed higher, turning the meadow landscape into a sea of shimmering gold and deep emerald. The path turned soft and dark as Toby reached a wide, muddy patch. The ground felt like wet clay between the ridges of his boots. Squelch! With every step, the mud tried to hold him back. Toby didn't turn around or search for an easier way. He leaned forward and used his strong legs to push through the muck. He felt the cool dampness against his skin. This part of the meadow landscape was tricky, but Toby enjoyed the challenge. He thought about the rabbits and wondered if they had splashed right through without noticing the smell of the rich, wet earth. He kept his eyes on the trail ahead. After the mud came the rocks. The path became a steep ridge of gray stones and sharp edges. Toby reached the base of the climb and looked up. Up, up, up the hill. He began to scramble over the boulders. Clack, clack. His sturdy boots found grips in the cracks of the stone. Each pull required all his strength. Toby was a determined climber who didn't fear a few bumps. He felt the rough texture of the granite against his shell. The air grew thinner and cooler as he climbed higher. He stopped for a moment to catch his breath and look back at how far he had come. Encourage your child to cheer for Toby during the rocky climb. The slope grew even steeper near the middle of the ridge. Toby's muscles felt warm from the effort. He whispered his favorite phrase to keep his spirits high. One foot, then the other. He knew that persistence was the only way to reach the summit. A small lizard watched him from a crevice, blinking in surprise at the tortoise's progress. Toby didn't stop for long. He wanted to see the world from the highest point.
He pushed against a flat stone and hoisted himself upward. Step by step, slow and steady, Toby was ready. The peak of the hill was finally getting closer. As Toby neared the top, a thick white fog rolled across the trail. It felt like walking through a cold, damp cloud. Toby could no longer see the path or the summit. The distance ahead became a mystery of gray mist. He felt a shiver run down his neck. The world became very quiet, and the rabbits were nowhere to be seen. Toby stood still for a moment, feeling the moisture on his shell. Up, up, up the hill. He knew he couldn't give up now. He closed his eyes and listened. The wind whispered through the tall grass, and the smell of pine needles filled the air.
Tweet, tweet! A sharp, clear sound pierced the silence. He recognized the song of the summit birds. He used his ears to find the way. His persistence guided him through the blinding mist. He followed the melody, moving slowly so he wouldn't lose the trail. The fog felt heavy, but Toby's heart was light. He trusted the birds to lead him to the peak. The meadow landscape below was hidden, but Toby felt a new connection to the mountain. He focused on the sound and the feel of the rising ground beneath his boots. He was almost there. He could feel the air changing. The fog began to thin and glow with a strange golden light. Suddenly, the mist parted like a curtain. Toby stepped onto a flat, grassy area at the very top. The sun looked like a giant, glowing orange resting on the grass. It was the most beautiful thing Toby had ever seen. The summit was peaceful and bright. He saw the rabbits sitting near a rock, looking tired and grumpy because they had arrived while the fog was too thick to see anything. Toby smiled and took a deep breath of the warm air. Step by step, slow and steady, Toby was ready. He had finally reached his goal.
Toby sat on the soft grass and watched the colors change from orange to pink. He felt the warmth of the sunrise on his shell. He was a determined tortoise who had earned this view. Up, up, up the hill he had traveled, and the reward was worth every squelch and clack-clack. The summit birds sang a song of triumph above him. From this height, the entire meadow landscape looked like a beautiful painting. Toby realized that his slow pace allowed him to see the world's beauty more clearly. He shared his snack with a friendly sparrow and enjoyed the quiet victory of his long journey.
As the first stars began to twinkle in the purple sky, Toby started his walk back down. He moved with the same rhythmic grace he had used all day, one foot, then the other. The path home felt familiar and welcoming. When he reached his little house, he unlaced his muddy boots and set them neatly by the door. He felt a deep sense of pride in his sturdy legs. Toby crawled into his cozy shell and let out a long, happy sigh. The great green hill was now a memory he would keep forever. Step by step, slow and steady, Toby was ready for sleep.